Okay, so it's now Thursday and I set up my Swytch kit on Monday and I need to do a few tweaks to it. Nothing's wrong with it, but a few things that I've read through because I've now found the manual. I'm going to put a link in the description for the manual, which I didn't get in my packaging, but I've got the whole manual and it's a PDF file so you can download it, print it out or whatever you want to do. And I've also found the manual for the controller, so the battery display and how you can change things like wheel diameter and top speed and things like that. So I'll put a link in the description for that. If you watch my first video, you'll know that the pedal assist was broken. When I pulled it apart, it actually pulled the lugs off. I'll show you closer for this. So this is how it should go together, like that, and then pull apart. And you obviously pull it straight. These are little plastic lugs, so if you put any pressure this way, they're very easy to snap, as I snapped on mine. I'm going to not put mine on at the moment because the other one's working fine, and I'm thinking that the metal retainer will hold it in place. But obviously I'm going to do more bike builds with this, and so I'm going to use it for the other bike builds, and I'm going to keep it stored like that. I'm not going to keep it stored put together because I think over time maybe it just gets stiffer. So I'll leave that as it is. I'm going to mount the throttle control today, which is this one. So this is the little thumb throttle control. I'm going to put it on the left-hand side because I've got plenty of room here because this is a single-speed bike. If I didn't explain single-speed bikes, if you're not that familiar with the term, think of an old BMX or something like that with literally just one gear. So I've got a slightly bigger chain wheel than you'd normally have on some bikes, and then a small one on the back. It's a bit stiffer than a BMX gearing, but it's very pleasant to ride as a bike, and it's simple. So there's obviously a lot less to go wrong, but also I've got a lot less clutter on the bars. I've got a lot less weight on the bike. Obviously I've added weight with the Swytch kit, but you know that's how it is. And this is temporary because it's going to go on another bike and another bike and another bike as time goes on. So I wanted to address that I got this wrong on the front adapter. I had it at a 45-degree angle because that's what I thought it said in one of the videos. But actually the idea was 45-degree angle, put the little strap underneath and then let it sit down so it tensions on the strap. And also I think I could probably get this strap to be double. I did it as single thickness and I sort of folded it up at the end, but I think I could probably double this up and so make it stronger. So I'm going to take that off. It won't take very long to do that. The other thing I was going to do is I've got the manual for the display, so I'll put a link in the description for that as well. It's not exactly the same one as this one, but a lot of these are quite generic, and so a lot of the terminology and a lot of the button presses to get to certain bits are the same because it only mentions up to 7 pedal assists on a lot of the old ones, and this is 9. I changed the top speed I changed it to the maximum it would go to, which is 40 kilometers, which is about 32 miles an hour. And I tried it on a very long straight with me pedaling fast. And I only got to about 22 miles an hour, I would say. And I'm not sure, because of the wind noise and the road noise, I wasn't sure if the motor was still trying to assist me on, or if whether it was just me under my own steam once you go past a certain level. But I'll do more tests with that. And obviously with the throttle control, I'll be able to definitely see how fast the bike can propel itself on its own. It's a good idea if you're using throttle control to start off with the pedals because you're putting less strain on the motor, I've read. If you just rely on the throttle control all the time, it obviously every time you start off it's a strain, whereas if you start pedaling and then use the throttle control, it's going to ease it in, which makes sense to me. So I'm going to try see how fast it will go with the throttle control with it set to maximum of 32. I don't think it will go much more than 20, and it does 20 very well. I mean, even uphill with me pedaling, I can do 20 miles an hour up quite a steep hill. But on its own, I think a 250 watt motor probably isn't strong enough to do a faster speed than that, and maybe it's not good for it. But I figured that if that didn't work, I could change the wheel size to 20 inch. So the computer thought that the speed wasn't going fast enough. So when I then get pedaling, it will think I'm going lower than it will, so it will try and propel me on faster. And because I've got bigger wheels and I'll be pedaling with it, maybe I'll get a higher top speed. So I'll have to use my phone as a speedo for that, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's try the throttle control because I'm babbling on. I'm going to fit that. I'm also going to tighten the pedal sensor because I didn't tighten that last time. I don't know if that's shifted around. No, I don't think it is. No, it's definitely not shifted because it's double-sided. So I didn't tighten the little Allen key bolt on that. So let's do that first. So I've just got some pliers to hold the bolt. And then, I can't even get in because the camera's in the way. And then pop the Allen key in and just give that a little bit of a tighten. Can't get that one on. Yeah, so that's tighter now. So that's not going to move, and let's show you the angle that I've got on that and how close it is. You can see it's not entirely straight, but it's pretty close, and it's obviously not rubbing or anything like that. So that's good. That's one job done. Okay, so on the strap, this is the bit that I need to change because I want it to be a straight angle when it's down. So let's just loosen this one out. So the little bolt and the washer, put those in there. So this part of the strap, so what I'll do is put this one back in, just enough to hold it tight, and then I can pull this side out, and we can see how long the strap is. Okay, that's that one with the washer and the bolt. So here's the strap. Now when I got it, it was folded over like that, and I didn't think it would have enough length, but I was figuring if I just literally fold it bang in the middle like that, I reckon it would probably be, it's close, but I reckon it would probably do it. So fold it in half. Let's go this side. Right, that's gone all the way through one side. Not go all the way tightened because I want to be able to slip that under. So that's just going to go, I think. And this is why you have it up at a higher angle so that it's not flexing the strap. It's a very well thought out kit in it. I was just looking at possibilities on my other bikes, and there's all sorts of ways you can do it. Right, so pull that one out and the washer. Pop the strap through here. And it will just do it, I would say. Obviously, you might have a different experience if your stem is a lot thicker or something like that. But yeah, that's definitely gone through. So that's doubled up. So let's try and give you a better angle on that. So you can see the strap goes all the way under. It's just sticking out a little bit either side, and it's doubled over perfectly. So if it was one notch shorter, then it wouldn't have fit my bike. It wasn't shifting before, it wasn't moving before, but I just figured that having two straps across is going to be better. It's just going to be stronger. So I figured that's why I'd change it. As I say, it's the rubber was doing its job well, and I didn't have it over. I wouldn't say I had it overly tight as well. Because there's so much rubber there to clamp down on these bars. And I did see that mountain bike bars, and I knew this, I'd just forgotten this, but they're thicker here, whereas some older bike bars, like drop handlebar bars, are the same thickness. I think it's 22.2 all the way, and this is maybe 25.4, so I can't remember now. So let's tighten that up. Well, let's loosen it a tiny bit and see how much downwards this will go now. Yeah, so that's more straight. Let's get my camera off here. So if you have a look under there, you can see that that's now tight, and I haven't even tightened these up now, but then you're going to have the double strength of having the clamp and the strap. Okay, and that's tighter than I ever had it before. So I'm happy with that. That's going to definitely do the job. If you're wondering what this is just so that the bars don't keep turning. It's just a luggage strap to keep the bars from as they are. Right, now what I want to do is put the throttle control on, and I'm going to put it on this side, so the left hand side. Does that work on the left hand side? Didn't think about that. So it's obviously meant to be like that. Ah, okay. It doesn't work on the left hand side, does it? Because of the direction that it is. And if I do that, then the cable is going to be going outwards and then back on itself, which would reach actually. So if it's under there, I'm just not going to. No, it's going to look a lot neater on the. Okay, so I'm going to move my bell over to the other side, and so I'll switch the bike around. Well, that's a lot easier with lock-on grips, isn't it? They were from Tesco's actually. I'm sure I paid about £3 for them, and they're really comfy. Got a really nice diameter on them. Right, so hopefully this lever will come off without me having to undo all the brake cables. I really don't want to have to mess about with all that. Right, so what have I got here? So that, right, there's loads of length there. That's my brake cable. That's got quite a lot of length to it. Not stretching. Oh, it's close. Yep, that's fine. Oh, this is nice and easy. There's a little bit of plastic inside this throttle control, and it looks like it just sits in that. I'm guessing I can't see where else it will go. I've just dropped it on the floor, so I think it just sits in there, and then you tighten up with a little Allen key bolt. So let's pop that on. Not tighten that up just yet. So lengthwise, that's going to be fine. You can see with these are the two. That's the rear brake sensor, which I'm not using, and also the throttle control. I don't know what happens with the throttle control. I haven't looked in the manual yet, even though I have the manual now, so I probably should. But let's crack on. So brake lever. So is that going to go over or under? Yeah, so under, because when you're using the throttle, you want your thumb to be straight down like that, I would say, max power, because you want it to be comfortable. I think I'll probably prefer pedal assist, but I ordered the throttle control because I thought it would be a bit of fun, and I've got some other projects in mind where I thought that they would match that better. So which way were these on? Doesn't really matter. Oh, that's just, if you've ever taken rubber grips off a bike, you'll know what I'm talking about that being so easy. Nice and tight, yeah, because it's not gonna impede it. That's why I didn't go for the grip shift control, because I don't like things on the bars. Especially if you're going over rough terrain. I don't like gear shifting, and I'll put a picture of my Scott sort of road bike with grip shift on it, because I changed it that I can use the grip shift as a full grip, and I moved it inwards, and it was a much better way of doing it. Oh, I thought that was quite tight, but it still moves. It's not got rubber in it, is it? Let's go. I don't want to thread it. Yeah, that's gonna be alright, because obviously the throttle itself is springy, but it's not got much tension in it. Right, so yeah, someone had mentioned about this cable, about the angle. So I wonder if I was supposed to use that one so that it's more. Yeah, I bet I was. I bet they cross over. Let's do that at the same time as well then. That's my potatoes. That's why the timer went off. If you're feeling hungry, you feel more hungry now. So how much length have we got here? Not bad. That's all right. So can you see that? Yeah. So we've got to line up the little arrows on here. It's going to be easier. I'm not holding a tool. So pop the bar end back on. Right. So let's give it a test. So I haven't changed any settings. Cables are all clear of the bag. Cool, that went in easy. Oh, no. Right. Obviously, because it's on the rack, I didn't want to slam down on it. Right, so the wheel's clear. Nothing's going to... Doesn't matter if the wheel spins around. So let's maybe change your camera angle. So switch on, press and hold the middle button for a couple of seconds, and that powers it up. What do you reckon? Is it going to work straight away? Oh, it does. Okay, so I'm going to switch sound to the iPhone now. I've been using an earpod as my microphone because it sounds better. But I'm going to switch over to the iPhone now. So the iPhone is about a foot away from the wheel, and I can tell you what speed it's running at. 4.4, 4.8 miles an hour. Ah, this is right. So this is interesting. So how am I going to show you this? Right. So with the throttle control, so you can see here, I've only done 10.7 miles. I've done more than that, but what I'm going to do now is all the time I'm riding the bike, I'm going to leave the control on because I was doing some testing with it off just to get an idea of it. So let's put the throttle control to the max, and you can see that 4.9 is all it goes to, and that's because it's on pedal assist 1. So the pedal assist still is influential on the throttle control. So let's try 5. 15. It's a bit wobbly, isn't it? Right, let me tighten this up because I don't want a Ferris Bueller's Day Off scenario here. I know this isn't a Ferrari, but...
Face.
So, throttle control, let's go up to 7, which used to be the old highest limit that it used to go to. And I'll do it to the max. So that's 20, which is interesting because this is set to 20, but I changed it to 40 kilometers. So let's see if 9 makes a difference. Yeah, it does. So it gets it up to about 24 miles an hour with the throttle. See the wheel still spinning, nice and freely. So I wasn't planning on going out today, but I'm going to have to go out and try that now. That's really interesting. I'll show you on the control. If you press and hold plus and minus, here we go. So you see you've got something there, but then if you do minus and the circle, here you can change the wheel size, but also you can change that's the speed. So that's showing that it is actually going faster than the 20, but my thought is that maybe a 250 watt is limited in what it can deliver in a speed point of view without more watts or voltage or whatever going through it. So I'm not going to mess with any of that. But I certainly could change the wheel size, but then the speedo would be misreporting the speed, because obviously it would think I was having, if I change it down to, what does it go down to? What? So if I changed it down to 8-inch, obviously if this wheel is turning, it would do, well, an 8-inch wheel would have to do a lot more revolutions to be able to get to that sort of speed. To store it, I'm not storing this in. To store it in, you press and hold the circle and it stores the setting in. So if I turn this off now, turn it on again and press and hold, then press and hold the plus and the minus, and then press and hold the minus and the circle. There we go. You can see it still says 26-inch, but I did change the setting, press the circle. I did change the setting to 40, which is as high as it will go. It was set on 30 something, I think. It equated to 20 miles an hour. Right, so anyway, let's, well, I don't need to store that because we know that's stored. So I'm going to have to give it a try. Crikey, that's muddy. So at this bench I'm going to put throttle on, so I'm not pedalling now. I have to ease off of the corner. Right, back on. A little bit of a downhill straight here, we'll see what speed it can get. So it's going up a hill, see it's slowed down a bit. This is just throttle, no pedalling. I think I have to brake because I'm not going to make that corner, and the weather is lovely, isn't it? It's nice that I'm dressed for it. Right, so I'm pedalling now. I figure just to give less strain on the motor, it's good to do a bit of pedalling, and it's good for your health. But now I'll switch to throttle control now.